Yo ho ho, what up my llama beans? How you doing? We're back in action. This is episode 8. We're getting so far in the world. This is kind of awesome. Episode 8 of our 100 games series. So far we've been doing fairly awesome. I'm really happy with how things have been going. But I always want to improve, I always want to get better, and we're doing the very best that we can. So, for today's video, I want to talk a little bit about, surprisingly, about late game. I'm going to talk a little bit about the game itself, all the games that have been going on here. As you can tell, I'm doing mostly banana farms with my dart monkeys and everything. But I also think that even though I'm showing you guys how to beat people by round 13 on most games, and at the very latest, almost round 20 or maybe 22, we have had 0 games go beyond that. We should still talk about late game, because even though it doesn't really happen that often, it is a big part of the game, and you probably should know about it. At least a little bit. Now, I don't do that many late game videos in general, and it's not because I don't like them at all. It's just because I feel like they're very, very time consuming for the amount of enjoyment that I get out of them. So that was a perfect, I don't know if you guys saw that, was a perfect mixture of balloons right there. We had some regal leads because we saw not that many lead popping power towers, and then we just came in, we waited just a few seconds. We didn't rush right after that. We waited until they got right around to where the towers were going to be and rushed with a bunch of regal blacks, and they combined on top of each other and made basically a perfect rush right there. You got to pick apart your enemy's defense and realize what to rush with, and that is the main thing, whether it's leads, grouped popping power, or camos. That's like the main thing, and that's, something I should probably bring up in my next video is, we've talked about rushing and what you should rush with, but how should you know what to rush with? And I'll probably talk about that in my next video. But for today, late game. Alright, none of these games I don't believe will go late game, if at all. Again, we're mostly beating people right around round 12 and 13 and all that stuff. We also notice this guy is anti-stalling. He's putting all of his towers right at the very beginning, right when the natural balloons come out, which is making our farms do even better for us, which is helping us out a bunch. So I'm like, alright, well, let's just rush with some Rigo Zebras. We might even kill him with those, but no, he was able to survive with the Super Monkey, but he's not going to survive a Rigo Rainbow Rush. No way, Jose. So, what should you do? How should you plan on going late game? Should you go Banana Farms or should you go Balloon Eco? And that's something you kind of got to choose for yourself, though I would say, unless you're really, really confident that you can go late game, I would still go Banana Farms. And as far as Eco is concerned, do a normal Banana Farm strategy. Maybe do a little bit more Banana Farms than you normally would. Try and get a fourth tier as fast as possible. Even if you have to sell your 3rd tier Banana Farms. Sell your 3rd tier Banana Farms. Usually you have to sell at least 2 of them, save up about $5,000, and get up to that 4th tier upgrade. But a 4-0 is not that helpful, so you usually need to go for a 4-2 Banana Farm, and then at that point, then you can start switching over to Balloon Eco. And normally what I do is I'll get 1 4th tier Banana Farm, 1 3rd tier Banana Farm, and then I'll start going Balloon Eco. And the reason why is because if I do get in a little bit of a crunchy situation, I don't want to end up having to sell my 4th tier Banana Farm. I want to sell just a $5,000 tower. Just sell my 3rd tier Banana Farm and get whatever I need. Because usually I can get $2,000 or $3,000 by that point. Pretty reasonably easy to get a Super Monkey Fan Club or get a couple abilities going. And that's what I usually like to do. That. But yes, of course, balloon income is important by the time you get to the late game, but not in the early game. Balloon income, you can get 500, you can get 600, you can get 700, 800. Who cares how much you get? It's not going to really help you out that much in the early game. So you're much better off going for a 4-2 Banana Farm where you're getting several $1,000s per round instead of having to rely on the balloon income while still spending billions of dollars and not having an insta-sell ability if somebody does decide to rush you. So, that being said, I feel like I'm talking very, very fast today, so let's slow it down a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I know, I'm just getting excited. I'm trying to make these videos more of a chill fest. We're just talking, having fun, watching some videos. Everything doesn't have to be the most exciting thing in the entire world. So, if we know what kind of eco we should go for, of course, get above 3,500. It's kind of up to you how much higher than 3,500 you want to go, but after you get to 3,500, you basically can spend as much money as you want on income while still building more towers. So that's pretty much like the key, like, oh, okay, well, at this point I can get pretty much anything that I want, so at least 3,500. Go as high as you want, though. I've seen 10,000, I've seen 20,000, but you usually can't even spend that much money. I usually like to stick with a nice solid excuse me, nice solid like 5,000 number. 5,000 just seems like that good number where you're like, I feel safe, I feel good, I feel like nothing's going to end up killing me with this amount of money. But towers are, of course, one of the most important things when you're going late game. When you're going late game, you kind of have to prepare. You have to pick the right towers to go late game. And that's one thing that's kind of hard for a lot of people to do. If you notice the map and you notice your enemy's record as being really, really good, you're going to have to pick the right towers. I always recommend dart monkeys because I feel like dart monkeys are that good early game tower that you can change into good mid game towers, and you can also use them slightly well in the late game. Then I decide to go usually for balloon chippers. Alright. And if you're still getting banana farms, which I said I recommended that, your three main towers should likely be, in most situations, dart monkeys, balloon chippers, and banana farms. Then you can use your fourth random tower. Hopefully you'll get a lucky one, maybe even use the battle energy to skip them around and maybe make it even better. So this guy's really good as well, 26 and 3. Facing a ton of really good people today, aren't we? Yeah. It's crazy, man. So with those three towers, how are you going to end up actually doing good in the late game? Now this isn't going to make you go to around 70 or 80 or 100, at least not easily. But basically what you want to do is you want to get a couple Super Monkey fan clubs in the front with a bunch of 2-3 dart monkeys in the front, get a couple balloon chippers up to 2-4 in the front, and maybe a couple of up to 4-2 as well, and then in the back spam the juggernauts. Oh my god, spam the juggernauts. Get 20, 30, I don't even care how many you get, just get a ton of them. Usually you want to spam a bunch of 0-0 dart monkeys before you turn them into juggernauts, because the footprint seems to get bigger or just makes it harder to put them down. So usually chilling with a bunch of 0-0 dart monkeys in the back and then upgrading them up to juggernauts when you get the money for them is probably the best way to go about doing that. And the reason why we do all this is because, of course, we want Moab popping power in the front, so we get Super Monkey fan clubs and a bunch of 2-3 dart monkeys with 2-4 balloon chippers, because the 2-4 balloon chippers are also fairly good at slurping up those balloons and slowing them down to let us pop those things. Also 4-2 balloon chippers, mixing those a few of those, and that was replacing the same guy again. Mixing up a couple 4-2 balloon chippers can be a fairly important thing as well, because you want to make sure you can pop those Omega layers pretty fast. So that's what I like to do, and then that's going to make you survive until at least round 50 or 60. Now, if you're planning on going super duper 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 late game, this is where you have to start thinking about how you're going to get a cannon, a temple, a cannon, a super monkey, and hopefully a blue chipper in there. And that's a really hard strategy. That's really hard to do. And the main reason why is because then you have to use the cannon and the balloon chipper to make yourself survive until round whatever you need to go for, because that has no canvas. So you have to get kind of lucky with your random tower in that scenario. You have to make sure it has camo lead popping power and camo popping power. So yeah, it's usually not the easiest thing in the entire world. So I usually don't recommend going for that, but those are probably the best late game towers: is cannon, super monkey, balloon chipper, and then something else. I don't care what it is, man. I know a lot of people probably think the helicopter is one of the best things because I use that in my late game run-throughs, but it's kind of hard to do in a regular game, and you're probably not going to do that craziness. So yeah, kind of try to stay away from that at least a little bit. But if you are going to do that, we have to talk about the temple. The temple is a fairly important tower for going late game. What should you do for the temple? Well, the temple, all you really need to do is sacrifice $30,000 worth of cannons or mortars, which is the exact same thing. I'm not going to argue with people about that. It is the same thing. Just trust me on it. $30,000 and $30,000 of another tower, which the easiest thing to usually do is a 2-4 Super Monkey, which is a technological terror. Sacrifice those guys in, and you're going to get a max temple pretty easily. It's really not a max temple, but in battles, it's more than you need. The ice and the glue and the wizards, they really don't help out that much. Yeah, they give you some extra blue and pop power, and they technically give you a little more pierce as far as everything is concerned, but I just don't really recommend using those in a regular game. They're really not going to be that efficient as towers in general, let alone be efficient at all in the late game. So you're much better off using some towers that can slow things down while still having the temple be as good as it needs to be, which being as good as it needs to be means having cannons or mortars. But again, all you need is get a sun god, spend $30,000 on cannons or mortars, mix them together too if you want, I don't really care, and a technological terror, and that will get you one of the best temples you can have. And then just spam a bunch of 2-4 balloon chippers, and that's going to make you go so late, you guys don't even realize how easy it is to go late game. A lot of people think, oh, it's a super duper hard thing, I can barely survive to round 50 or 60. No, that's not true. It's easy, man. It's really easy. So anyways, you're noticing I'm having some issues over here. Oh my goodness gracious. We got pinks coming out against us too. We're down to 96 lives, 91 lives. Oh my goodness. So we gotta keep on pushing, man. Now we only got 2 banana farms. We're gonna go for a second tier banana farm. And we're trying to pop all these pinks. We're down to 76 lives now, and that's not that bad. I mean, you guys have seen me go down to 30 lives, 20-something lives. We haven't gone really crazy and gone down to like 5 lives or anything like that, recently at least. Oh, he's going to rush us with some yellows. We're going to counter rush with a bunch of yellows, and we do end up taking him down with the counter rush. I love doing counter rushes when people think like, oh, this guy doesn't have enough yellow defense. Well, I don't have enough yellow defense either. Oh, we're facing him again. What is this? We're facing people all over the place today. Facing the same people over and over again. We got Explode and Gaming Mold, which I severely doubt is Gaming with Mold. I think most people know that. A lot of people copy names. In fact, I get it a lot. They're like, I just played you in BTD Battles, Chris. And I'm like, I haven't played in over a day. And no, you probably didn't play me. It actually gets kind of funny when people do that. But no, you have to look at my record and you have to look at my name. It should be Super John Bombo now. And it should be my record. You guys have seen my record lately. It's right around, I don't know, what, 800, 900, and like 350 or something like that. I don't know. Pretty reasonably good. Though, honestly, I don't even know my own record, so why do I expect other people to know? Well, they know. If I see people who screenshot it when it's like 200 and 100, and I'm like, no, that's not even close to mine. So anyways, what do we got going on here? Holy crap, dude, we're trying to survive against these camel lads. We're just going to go for an all-out rush and take them down. Thanks for watching. Have a super duper delicious day.